drinking there, buddy?
Who?
You.
Me?
I thought I heard something pop.
Oh, no.
So who's this handsome man to my left? Just wondering.
All right. Quick introductions. Rufus, you start.
Yep. I've basically spent a little bit over the past 68 days waiting on a reply for a business thing. So I said, fuck it. If you want something, you got to go for it. So I figured I'd get on the business council, not necessarily for my business, but just so nobody has to go through this process and wait 2-3 months for even a wonder of what's happening. So I'm here for the people, and I'm anxious to see some good businesses come to town.
Fuck yeah. All right. Clara, you're up next.
Clara, as you all know, manager at both Weasel and Bean, married to the mayor. I am all for helping people get stuff done, so here I am.
Hi, I'm the mayor. I'm an alcoholic.
Wrong meeting.
Oh,
Wrong meeting.
oh,
Wrong
oh.
meeting.
Wrong meeting.
Oh,
I know why you might think that, but
no, hi, I'm the mayor. I'm here to oversee everything that's happening here today.
Tim Hunter. I almost said my maiden name. Tim Hunter. I've owned various businesses over the years. I like to be involved in the community, and I want to try and give everyone a fair leg up. And I'm an advocate for consistency in the way things are run, while simultaneously being open to like new ideas and innovation.
My name's Melvin Hughes. I actually decided to jump onto this council after speaking with Rufus whenever he was first having problems with the previous council. I have actually run a business in Vice City as well, and trying to currently open up a new law firm here.
guess that leaves me, huh?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
Last but not least.
Oh boy. All right. My name's Angelino. Why am I here? Well, first and foremost, I don't really like bottlenecks, and I feel like things as they used to be had a lot of those. So I figured, if I'm going to be consulted by various people across the city, I might as well do that in an official capacity. So here I am. At the end of the day, I just want to, help keep the process moving along. And wherever I can help contribute to that, I'm going to do so.
Hell yeah.
Andy's my dad.
And I'm his father.
Heck yeah. All right. Sounds like we got a solid base. Now we all know each other, and anybody who watches the meeting minutes will have a little bit on us as well.
It's my dad.
All, successful business people helping others get their businesses up and running and working right.
Yep. And in regards to the closed meetings, these are being recorded. I have my recording little camera set up behind me, and anybody who wishes to see these at a later date can view them. For ourselves, for others, for accountability, and just for a good record of stuff. All right, so I guess what I came up with for some first orders of business is answering a couple questions for ourselves first. So the first thing I put down was, what are our responsibilities? I have been emailing back and forth with Judge Malpractice, and he's still working on the actual official charters, but our responsibilities are basically everything to do with businesses. We are in charge of reviewing proposals, handing out licenses, helping businesses kind of triage any issues or problems they may be facing, and to help them along in that regard as well. Besides just getting them started, kind of give them a resource to come to help move things along when things get rough. Like I said, the rest of the official charter will be at a later date, but we are not for legislation. We are not the same as the previous council or assembly. We do not deal with every other kind of concern the city might have. We are strictly for the businesses and development of the business side of the city. Next would be, what is the chain of command? So for when we make a decision to, authorize a business or push it back for further, information, or whether we send it up the chain to eventually send it for review, as some business proposals do need that, and it needs to go through the city planners and such. My question is, well, I guess we need to find out. Do we kick it up to the mayor's office? And then does Mayor Moxley kick it up to the Senate there? Or are we going to have a direct line to send approvals or reviews up to the Senate ourselves? Because I'm not sure.
Personally, oh, sorry. Go ahead. If you
No, go ahead. That's just the whole thing. I'm not sure how that's going to work.
personally, Barry, if you're comfortable with it, I think having that go through Barry as well. I know it may put a little bit more on his plate, but I feel like as the mayor, he should also have a bit of a say in this. Maybe not an absolute veto, but maybe it could be like a checks and balances thing.
That was in my mind as well.
We send it to him, he can send it back to us, and if we can also approve the vote for the second time, then it goes past him. But I think Barry should have a say.
He's the voice between the uppers and the people.
There you go.
Yeah, that's what I was leaning towards as well, but I wasn't sure, how that was going
Unless
to work.
we
So
get
it
all
was
the
definitely
power.
a topic we need to. I figured it was definitely a topic that we needed to figure out for ourselves before we, really get the train moving. Figure out how the tracks lead first.
Choo choo.
Right?
How do we now? I noticed this with the last business meeting or the last business council. I guess Senate as well at the time, but how do we want to address if we constantly have a vacant seat?
That was something
They
else.
have the opportunity to run, in my opinion. I mean, if we want to appoint somebody, it'd be kind of like a vote amongst us.
Well,
here,
let's say,
suppose.
mostly like they would still have to approach us to try to join it. But let's say Rufus shows up to this meeting and then doesn't, show up for 2 months. At what point do we say, hey, you're obviously not showing up?
Let me look.
But you're kind of like an
there
elected
was
deal for
something-
3 months, though.
Yeah,
Oh,
let me look. There was
yeah.
something posted with the charter for that. Hold on.
I believe
And
as long as there is the majority of, let's see, there's 5 of us, as long as there's at least 3, a business can carry on.
I gotcha. And that's why I wanted to check. You know what I mean? That way we at
But
least have
I'm
a balance.
also interpreting old charter into new terms, so I don't know for fact, but that's the
And
way
that's
I'm
the problem.
interpreting
Yeah, is the
the
Senate going to
process.
update that? Well,
I'm just
while we're here.
thinking the process. But yeah.
I'm just looking back in my notes. I can't remember if it's was a meeting minutes or whether it was an announcement, but I do know there was direction on this. I just have to find it.
Okay. Because what I don't want to have happen is to somebody get on the council, for, so let's say, for example, for a friend's vote, you know what I mean? They get on the council for a friend's vote, do that vote passes, and then they're vacant the rest of the time. You know, it's a weird, you know, situation, but I would like to at least have an address for it before we get to that point. But like Rufus said, they are still part of the, you know, for the entire term.
I'd say that if somebody knows that they won't be available, they do their best to like try to fill that seat. And
Yep.
But
if
it's an elected
they-
deal, though. I mean, you really can't just put somebody else in a seat that's an elected position. If we'd had 6 or 7, it would have been an official electoral type thing. You know, that's my only hang up on appointments and things like that, or even adding a 6th person, because I mean they had the chance to run. But that's my thoughts on it.
I gotcha. And of course,
What
we
about
can
you,
cross
Liam?
that
What do you
bridge
think?
whenever we get to it.
think
Yeah, or a group vote. We got
I was gonna say, I think
yeah,
I
that
think
was going to be my next point. Yeah.
us choosing amongst ourselves, I think we would know the needs of the council the best because we'd be the ones who are present.
Yeah,
true.
it's like we could like
Okay.
vote
I
together
found
to
it.
elect somebody
found it.
else. Yeah.
All right, I found it. Let's see. Clarification on the assembly and mayor's role in the city. I'm assuming this would carry over.
Yep.
Leaving the position in the assembly is a choice members can make. It will, however, lead to a 0 or no vote on behalf of their position, particularly if they don't find a replacement. You are allowed to leave in middle of term, but if you do not find a replacement, it will be a 0 vote.
wow.
The assembly is there to make sure that people are heard, not to decide blah blah blah. That doesn't matter. Sometimes
So
Senate
you
may ask
can
for
pick
less
your
votes.
own replacement. Is that how it is?
You should find a noteworthy replacement if you are going to be leaving. The term.
Interesting.
That is what it says for the assembly,
Yeah.
and well, mayoral it's different. It would go to the deputy mayor, and then
And so on.
Then it
So,
would have to go somewhere else, but
Would
I
we,
actually disagree with it being a no vote if for a vacant seat. If you're vacant, I don't believe that. I mean, if you're not there to have a say, I don't think that you should have
I
an
don't-
automatic no say.
I don't think it's a negative. I think it's your
No.
vote is void, like null.
Oh, okay,
yeah,
okay.
Yeah,
it
yeah.
means
a 0
there's
is
no
a 0.
vote.
It's not a yes or
No
a no.
vote.
It's just
Oh,
no
okay,
vote
okay.
as in
yeah.
0 vote. Yeah, they don't get the
I
opportunity.
thought of
yeah.
I thought of it in a sense of binary.
so. It
And
looks like
then,
we're supposed to find a replacement.
and would we like to agree that anybody brought forward by anybody stepping down needs to be approved by the rest of the committee before they
100%.
have an official
100%.
seat?
Agree. I agree.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's just due diligence. I agree.
Yeah.
No, I'm stepping down. Modek's taking my place.
No.
Oh
Nope.
my gosh.
I'm Modex man. I'm voting this bitch.
I mean, Tom, maybe. Modak, not so much.
Come on.
Nah.
I mean, I love them both to death, but trying to think of him taking anything seriously, it's like,
Yeah. No.
We are missing one person. Aren't we missing Mr. Dresden?
No, he backed out.
He-
He didn't
yeah, he
feel
didn't
like he
run.
had the time to put into it
Oh,
with everything else that has been going on. So he backed out from the
Hmm.
running.
Am I?
yeah, everybody's here.
Oh, and if anyone's wants, to double check and and verify on stuff that I just read off, it is in the meeting minutes for the 15th of December. It's within those mayor minutes or meeting
Yeah.
minutes.
And I know we talked about clarifying some roles for the committee. Tim, since you're basically volunteered yourself to record everything and make sure that's available to people, do you want to handle minutes and things
Yep.
like that?
I can do that. I can handle all of that for us.
Okay. See, what other roles do we need to clarify and fill?
So I wanted to announce to you guys that I have appointed a cabinet of 3 people who can also look at the laws, who can also help me with paperwork.
Okay. I am going to say that is not in what would I say?
That's a city hall thing.
Yeah, it's not
Yeah.
really
No, I'm just letting you guys know about that.
in relation to me. Okay.
Yeah.
We can talk about it after, sure.
Yeah. Blah blah blah. I think I would want to. You guys are good.
Yeah. The update on the business committee charter that's coming. Judge Practice is sick. That's why it hasn't happened yet. So he's under the
Aw.
weather, so he hasn't been able to do that. He's going to try
I
and
hope he feels better soon.
Be right
yeah,
back.
he's going to try and triage with some of the other DOJ, but that's going to be a little bit. But he did give me the meat and potatoes, I guess, of what our responsibilities are, which is the main point.
Yeah.
Okay. How we would like to operate. We already decided on, the meetings and when they're going to be and such. But I guess something that came up in discussion in one of the boards for the business proposals is when we do get a business proposal with enough time to do this, or whenever, we can bring people into the meetings if we want to have, if we want further clarification for all of us. Or there's also the potential for a couple of us at a time to pair off or in a small group and kind of go meet with the prospective business owners or startups on a different schedule, like not at the meetings if we think we're going to need more time. Like if Lynn and Rufus, say, wanted to go meet with the people for Wolf for that business proposal, because I think that would take a longer time than we have for a meeting.
100%.
But they could definitely go pair off, take a bunch of questions down there, get clarification on a bunch of things, and then bring it back to the full committee. And we
I
could
feel
have
like that one needs a lot of clarification.
Okay, so
I
it wasn't
think
just me on that.
I
We'll
think
get to it.
the proposal makes it sound a lot more convoluted than it is, because talking to him, it was a lot more clear. Reading that, I was like, I know what
Is
your
he
idea is. I know what
Only
you want.
around during
This
the
is kinda where we
daytimes.
are.
I've never met this wolf fella.
Yeah.
Oh, I mean, he was
don't know why.
around up until like an hour ago because he was down at
Okay.
Erie's Burger Shack.
Okay.
Yeah, apparently she knows him. She knows him and a couple of the other ones. Found that out down there. So yeah,
Interesting.
I do think his idea is more straightforward than his business proposal made it seem to be, because I do know there was a lot of fluff in there.
Yeah,
And a lot of,
it was very convoluted.
Yeah.
So is that like a? From what I could understand, is it like, hey, we reach out to businesses or people to throw events for them?
They basically want to be a logistics company.
Okay.
So
That makes
whether
sense.
that would be obtaining and selling, shipping materials that a company needs, or whether it would be setting up events with the different companies and hosting things for them, it would be like an outlet that businesses
Gotcha.
and such could work with or hire out to do things and set up things for them.
Okay.
Gotcha.
Yeah,
Yeah, that
but
makes
they're
so much more
Mhm.
sense.
but they're starting with the materials market and working on procurement and transport distribution kind of thing with the materials first, because it's a very accessible market without having to get into like a bunch of paperwork and a lot of back end work. I think that's why they started there. Like I said, it's a lot more clear
I'm
by
just gonna
talking to them. So
In my thought on that right there, for them to do that, I think it would be best for the whole community if they maybe met with the owner of the business and set up a delivery, and they went and did all the trucking of stuff. But I just for them to like fill their pockets up with a bunch of stuff, and then I'm just thinking, somebody coming new into town, the recycle center, that's going to be a a big place for people to make money, you know, to go and sell their stuff to the businesses. And if there's a company that's kind of doing that, it might corner the market on, you know, businesses only depending on that versus new people coming in. Like, well, we already spent all the money we could on, you know, whatever, and we can't buy it from the new people or whatever.
I mean, maybe, but that you could also argue that with like a restaurant opening up, taking the market from like a 24/7.
So I think if I can kind of get us back on
Yeah.
track of it, I think that the what's clear is that we
Yeah.
probably should meet with this individual
Yeah.
and hear it straight from their mouth, and you know.
Yeah, and back to the original thing, I guess would be like, would it be amenable to everybody to actually, you know, break off into smaller groups to meet up with different prospects that would require more time than, you know, just a half-hour meeting?
Quick question. So how about also about the current maintaining of businesses? I'm also a city hall employee, so I was talking with Barry, and I know that we do have a certain business that has literally never paid a single penny in taxes. Is taxes something that we also address with businesses?
Well, the mayor's still in charge of taxes. As
Okay.
far as I'm aware, the mayor is still in charge of taxes.
Gotcha.
Until the
All
charter
right,
comes
so
out
we don't
and
collect those then?
no, taxes are done automatically, and all of the business licensing fees have gone through the mayor or deputy mayor. They
Okay,
may
that's why I was
change that,
asking.
but currently that is where that responsibility lies.
I was gonna say, because in an event where a business goes not exactly bankrupt, but where the hell's the term?
Well, shit, Up and Atom, it's in our services app. I hadn't seen Up and Atom open in 4 or 5 months.
That's closed. It's closed.
Well,
It's not
so
opening.
one of them-
They have not been accepting any business proposals for it. It's
Well-
as good as not functioning at the moment.
But I'm saying if you have a business like that that's not functioning, nobody's been around, all that kind of stuff, we pull a license or do we put it up for auction? What do you think?
Well, normally it would be people would put in a business proposal for it, and then
Right.
it would go potentially to whoever had the best business proposal and pitch, and promise. But that business is closed. Currently, Senate does not want it open. It is closed.
Okay. So there's a couple of other ones in there.
Well, like one of them, the taxi company, right?
That's the one.
Taxi-
Yep.
Oh, fast as
Taxi
fuck.
companies, yeah, owned by Mateo.
Non-profit, so
literally
they didn't
never-
have to pay taxes. They don't
is
take
it
payment.
nonprofit?
No,
Okay.
yeah, they don't take
I
payment
did
for the
not-
rides.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay,
That's
that
fine.
makes much more
But I
sense.
still don't see them giving rides anymore.
No,
Yeah, I don't ever see
he
him
doesn't
giving
own it
rides.
anymore. I don't think.
It's still on there under his name for the business.
But it's not in the service app. It's
Yeah, I don't see it.
but it's still on the map and all that kind of stuff. So there's that.
Yeah, there's a lot of back end maintenance that and tidying up, I guess, of stuff that needs to be done, but it's not something we can do. We can compile everything that needs to be done and
I gotcha.
kick it up, but that is that's one of the bottlenecks for Senate.
Gotcha. Okay.
Yeah, and when it comes to how we operate, you know, functioning outside of meetings and all that,
Yeah.
you know, Senate contracts me for a lot of stuff.
Mhm.
So if it becomes a question of, you know, funneling things up, I don't mind taking lead on those conversations if we can't get in contact with people.
Okay. Well, yeah, we're gonna try through the mayor first, and then, you know, we can compile a list and then send it through the mayor, and then he can kick it up. But if there's anything else that might need more direct thing, then maybe.
I've got I guess a new topic here. So a lot of these businesses that we're going to be discussing right off the bat are quick, easy businesses, small, like his property that you got. You said you got your lawyer thing. You know where you're going to be and all that kind of stuff. So yours is going to be a quick and easy setup. And you know what I'm saying? It's not going to be a lot of construction costs and all
Yeah.
that kind of stuff going with it. So I mean, we knock those out pretty quick. But what are realistically are we looking at on the turnaround for, say, let's just use Ari Sock, whatever, her business. I'm real impressed with it. So she turned her paperwork and stuff in. It's in the box. Once we discuss it, how long would it take for her from us talking about it to voting on it to construction to all that kind of stuff? What is a realistic number to tell people? Month, 2
We
month,
do
weeks?
not really have that information. We can tell people, hey, once we can confirm it or deny it, whatever. But then we have to send it up. So once we get word back from, Senate and the mayor that a business has been approved, we can let them know that it has been approved or not approved. But we generally, historically, hopefully we can do better, but historically, we are not given a timeline. We have never been given a timeline. The most accurate thing we've been given to a timeline before was no construction will happen until after the new year. And that was sometime early December.
Yeah, I think as a general rule of thumb, when it comes to our interactions with people, I don't think we should discuss timeline at all.
Yeah,
Okay.
it is not something that we will ever have an accurate time
Okay.
frame of. So it's just best to not give people like timelines, I guess.
And I think
It's a frustrating point, but it is something that is reality.
That's all I need to hear. I'm good with that.
Yeah.
so kind of circling back to your original point, Rufus, when it comes to, how do I word this? When it comes to how we interact with people, I think, or not interact, but how we engage with these business proposals, I should say. I think we should go in the order of what, how they came in versus, or when they came in versus, feasibility, ease, things of that nature.
Oh, that makes
Okay.
sense completely.
Because I know that, talking to Barry before, there's we got a little bit of a backlog. I think there were a couple that kind of fell in.
Yeah,
in
I know
this-
Barry said he had a couple he'd like us to revisit.
Yeah,
There, That's good.
there are a couple that are just kind of like they were there during the void period.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's also some upkeep that'll have to be done on those because there's a number that still say pending review
Yeah.
and they have already been decided on.
They're like the Costello bags.
Well, that
Yeah.
one I'm not sure.
Costello bags is already in the service
Yeah.
app.
It's in
Yeah.
the service app.
Well, yeah, there's like the Luna legal consultations, like that one's been approved. Morgana's
Do we have
Den
control
was
of what
denied.
goes into the service app?
No.
Okay.
We
I was
can
gonna say, it'd be
approve
cool
stuff,
for
but
lawyers
that
that had
is-
something like that.
Yeah, that is
something I'm
directly
gonna try
a
to
responsibility and a power of the ones who set up the businesses.
Got it.
So it would be like city planners and stuff. That goes in when
Okay.
they do all the construction and set up for all that.
Yeah.
With
Yeah.
that specifically, hopefully there'll be a new app coming soon that would, be able to connect all the lawyers together like that.
That'd be cool.
That's cool.
Yeah, because like with my business, I'm not looking for any government funding or anything like that. So technically, I wouldn't be able to have a paycheck. I wouldn't have to clock on or anything like that. So since I'm not clocking on, I wouldn't show up in the services app. It's a weird
Yeah.
situation.
Does anyone else have anything they have, I guess, would like discussed for clarification of what we're doing or how we're doing it?
Just the Monday, Wednesday. Is it like today? Obviously, we're getting established.
Yeah.
Are we going to kind of like at the beginning of each meeting, kind of go over, review where we were at the last meeting briefly, like within like 2 or 3 minutes, just say, "Remember we were doing this? All right, here we go."
Yeah, pretty much.
And-
Well,
or,
that's one of the reasons I want to have like these video recorded so
Mhm.
that one of us can go back and just like
Got it.
check if we want to or if we need to.
Cool. I guess my only other thing is when it comes to the businesses and all that kind of stuff and the taxes. You said something about the mayor's office will take care of all that kind of stuff, but
Yep.
I guess the size of the business matters, and does the property Also, I mean, see, that's what I'm trying to
There's
figure
two.
out. When they
If you
buy
look
a
at the
property, does
business,
that tax dollars go to
if you look at the business
proper
guidebook,
place?
the business guidebook has two designations for businesses. There's a vendor license and a business license.
Okay, that's
Those are
right.
the two
I forgot about
things.
that. Yeah.
That is the one thing that defines your taxes. So
Yep, I
those
totally
are your
forgot
two
about
tax
that.
brackets.
I'm sorry.
Yep.
Yep.
No, that's fine. But that's what defines your tax bracket. The
Yep, yep.
value of your business is dependent on the evaluation, which would take into consideration your assets, your the size of your building, how much
the
land
D8
you
and
have, all of
everything
that
goes
stuff.
in.
So
Okay.
if someone's trying to buy into a business, either pitching to buy into a business that's derelict that we're trying to get started, or whether someone's looking to buy into co-ownership of a business, that's where all of that would be calculated. And
Now,
then
the question
yeah, go ahead.
on that, say someone has a business and let's just say, for instance, Jack Maston leaves, but we got to get a new owner in there. Would they, obviously they'd have to do their own thing, but say that new person wants to get a co-owner, that does the co-owner of an existing business, like if they're bringing in a new person, an investor, a co-owner, whatever, do they have to come before the council with anything?
Okay, so new owners, co-owners, or just straight up new owners, every new owner has to be brought through the mayor's office first. You can't just, like, I could not just appoint someone
Right.
to
I
ownership without any oversight. So what has to happen? I would
And that
have
would be
to
even
bring
as a
someone.
co-owner, correct?
Yeah, even as a co-owner.
Okay. Okay.
I would have to bring that person to a meeting with the mayor's office to vet through things, and then that person becoming co-owner or new owner would have to buy into the business based on the business's value. Now,
Oh.
where I have purchased my building and purchased all of my assets to own it, it's no longer leased to me from the city. So I own it. So a new owner would buy in and pay out to me. Some businesses have not been bought out. So there would, like Gladiators. If or when we get new ownership for Gladiators, they would have to pay to the city. So they would have to pay to, like, the mayor's office, city funding. That's how that would work. And then what else? And then if one of them wanted to buy out the business, they have to pay the city and D8 to buy out the
Now,
business.
how would that work for like a business like mine, a private firm that is not a publicly traded company, where it's just
That would be
an office
that would be
eyeball?
you having someone paying out to you because you own the place. You bought it
Yeah.
through D8. You bought it. You own all the assets. So
Yeah.
it's the same as me with like Next Gen Use Autos. If I get a new person, they would have to pay to me to buy into the business, but it still has to go past the mayor's office for like
Okay.
another thing, because it's another check and balance so that people aren't hopping businesses, because we had a massive issue earlier on in the city's days where ownership would just be bounced around like a fucking hacky sack. Like, oh, well, we're bringing on this co-owner, we're bringing on this co-owner, well, they don't want anymore, so the next person's coming in here, the next person's coming
Oh,
in, so blah blah
Jesus.
blah. Yeah, we, like, the garages had fucking like 7 to 8 different owners, like, just bouncing around. Like, I think Pent changed hands like 5 times.
Jesus.
So it's a check and balance
Dang.
to make sure nobody's abusing things, like just handing off a business to somebody for like $1, and also just to check and balance to try and incentivize people. Hey, if you're buying into a business and you want to be a co-owner, there is stuff that you have to invest in this, and you have to like be put through some stuff. That's kind of where that came from, because it was bad. It was bad for a while. If they decide, I am curious, like the rest of you, I am curious if they're going to change responsibilities on collecting licensing fees from the mayor's office to the business committee, it would make sense to transfer it, but until they get the new charter out, I'm not sure. Mr. Practice did not have that information. At least not yet.
I think that's it then.
All right.
So, action items for Wednesday. Anything come to mind for anybody?
Let's get the ball going. Let's get some shit
Yeah.
going.
Yeah,
For
let's get
Wednesday,
it
I think
going.
we're good to just jump into business proposals and such.
Fuck yeah, we get
Definitely.
business licenses, get all that process going, and then it's out of our hands. The Senate has it, and they may have like 4 or 5 of them on their desk. And who knows? They might pop up 4 or 5 of them real quick.
Well, I think for me, and probably Rufus, you sound interested in as well. A couple of those proposals, just want to talk to the people who wrote them. Maybe even, depending on the size and the scope of the ask, maybe also try and get Barry in there as well if he's got the time, because there are a couple of them that have construction requests and kind of just getting further details on that sort of thing. And then in the case of I'm blanking on their name. Cade,
Wolf.
is it?
Yeah,
A wolf?
Cade Wolf. Yeah.
Wolf, yeah.
Yeah.
I will say generally, whether it had a construction request or not.
Oh,
would-
I'm not. Yeah, I'm not speaking like that. That's an exception. Like I think in that case, like I need for me personally, like I need to be brought in on that from ground zero because I don't quite understand the full gist of that.
Oh yeah, no,
but
that's yeah.
But like for example, with like the Burger Shack, for example, like that seems pretty cut and dry, and I just want to
I've
talk to-
spoken with her. I like it.
yeah, I'd like to just talk to her
Oh,
and
yeah.
kind of get her sense of what she's looking for and all that jazz to see
yeah.
how how we could best support what they're trying to do.
Yep.
So
So what I will say that has been done historically, whether there is a construction request or not, it's definitely an asset to have you here to give us a little more information on that. But it has been whether we feel like the business would be viable or not.
yeah, and
If it
that's-
has
that's-
one of
that's the
those,
biggest thing.
We approve or deny. We approve or deny on our level. And then we push it up the chain towards Senate. And they, before you were on the committee, they would then decide if it was viable or not and kick it back to us. So they would be like, yes, it's viable. We'll, work. You can continue to move forward in working with this, or no, it's not. Go back to them and say, sorry, it's denied.
Yeah, and I think in
That sort of
in most cases, you're gonna have that back and forth. I think from what I was talking about with Barry before, with I think it was the Burger Shack, and Rufus, you can correct me on this if I'm wrong on this, but it sounded like they had maybe already started construction. So I was just kind of
Oh, hey, if y'all want to know,
I have no idea.
Barry's down there at the Burger Shack right now. We could go down there and just
After
continue
meeting
the
dinner?
meeting, and after meeting dinner, get something to eat, try the food, and maybe have a chat with the lady.
It's very good food.
yeah. I'm more curious of well, number one, I want to get just their sense of how they
You
want to
get-
operate, and I'm just curious who.
Hey, Claire, could you text
All right.
him and tell him to stall her?
Right? So I guess before
I
we
just saw him on
adjourn,
Birdie.
do we want to assign different people to the different projects? Because I know, Lynn, you and Rufus have the most questions and such for Wolf. So I can get you their email. I don't have their phone number.
I would
But-
actually like to be added in on that.
Yeah,
one
go
as
for it.
well.
Like, so if you three wanted to head down there, or all of us, whatever, it doesn't matter to me. If we wanted to assign kind of little projects to each person, be like, hey, okay, so you guys want to tackle talking to these people. Such and such group wants to tackle talking to these people. Would that be something that we want to do?
Yeah, we can divide and conquer.
All right. So, what about a situation where we have two proposals that are basically exactly alike. Like I think we have
You
two of them right
just
now that are two arcades.
Stole the words right
Yeah.
out of my mouth. I was just about to bring that up.
One of them, I'm gonna be honest with you, man. One of them, I get more of a. They're thinking more about the food than they are the
Yeah, it
yeah.
seems more like a
arcade side
restaurant.
of it. And the other one, I think it's
My
you
vote
called
on Rice
out.
Hayes is arcade is no right now, straight up no.
Same
But
with you.
Well, hold on.
Yep.
If you want to
What
make an
was the
official vote on it, we
second?
get to there.
What was the second one?
Tilt. Oh wait, no, hold on.
It's cyber. Wait,
That one was
no.
denied. All the ones that I linked before were
I
denied.
believe.
I think Barry
from what-
wanted to revisit one of them though.
Cyber Arcade was the other one. 8-bit arcade.
Yep. And then
Okay, because that one was denied pretty unanimously, I think, because of a number of things. We can revisit it next week if we want to, but
Yeah.
All right.
bump it to the bottom of the list. Fuck
Now
it.
this is one thing I've thought about, and maybe it needs to be addressed. What if we have somebody who, in a mental sense, kind of has a whole shit ton on their plate, and I feel like they're trying to juggle too much?
oh, that's their problem.
Oh well, I mean,
Well, for
It's-
example, hypothetic. No, I don't want to.
I mean, it's
Well-
not for us to assume what someone can or cannot handle.
I
no,
hear you. I agree.
It's
I
also not
think
our
it's more of
responsibility to
a-
juggle their schedule for them.
Yeah.
And
I
then,
think
like,
it's more
if
of a
push comes to
main
shove, we could
character
always,
syndrome. If you have one person, and not just the person themselves, but the personality, let's say that is controlling a whole lot of stuff. I may have to go deeper into detail on that one.
Oh, so you're wondering if like
What?
someone has a monopoly, or has too much say in the city
like,
or whatever?
like Jack Maston.
Crane?
Yeah, yes, something like that. You know what I mean? Because I personally, I would prefer to let's give a business to the little man rather than,
yeah.
Well, let me
Well,
just tell
I-
you, when
Go
when
ahead.
when Jack Maston fired me because of my business proposal, I aimed right then to be his biggest competitor.
Yeah.
well, but you get what I'm saying though. You know what I mean?
Dude,
I don't like
I
the
think
idea
competition's
of
a good thing, but we don't need to be like the little guy. In my opinion, should be our main focus because they're not giving a lot of jobs out. They're actually hustling to get their stuff done. The big guy, they've
The
got
way I've
whatever.
always done it is I base it off of the proposal and their vision and who has the best go at it. So
No, I get that.
whether it's the little guy or the big guy, I go based on the information.
I can respect that. Yeah, yeah,
Nothing that's outside of it. I just kind of go with what's there. I believe there are also limitations to how many businesses someone can own and be a co-owner of. I believe you can
Yeah, that's
only
kinda
My understanding is
own.
it's two, right?
I think you can only own one ish, but be co-owners of another.
Yeah,
Alright,
that's
well,
that
I
sounds about
mean
right.
more of the
You can't be like a
sense of,
primary.
let's say Rufus owns a building, but spiritual Rufus, is trying to open up another business.
I could be a co-owner, but I couldn't open another.
Yeah.
business.
You get what I'm saying, though, right? Like,
Yeah, I
not-
know
not
exactly what
Rufus
you're talking about.
Thompson.
And in that
Yeah.
situation, I would be owner of one, co-owner of B,
I catch you. Okay, that makes much more
where
sense.
Yeah.
I would not have a majority stake in that business.
Because they
Second
have
business.
had other people, like the Senate has intervened before and had people that had monopolies on a lot of like businesses
That's what I'm
find
concerned
other
about.
ownership for the businesses, like IRA, for example.
Or you've also got just people who are investors that maybe are not in the owner role, I guess.
And I think, in the context of just what we do, I think we're really good at sussing out context of situations, right?
yeah.
I to me, I don't really see this as an issue as long as we're all aware that it could be one.
Oh yeah, for sure.
100%.
It'll be a case by case basis for sure. Because like I said, the arcade just straight up no, based on previous issues and extraneous issues that I know will be problematic for getting the business to work and function. And there's also the considerations of like, is someone just trying to come up with a business to print money for themselves as easily as possible? Like that's something else we're gonna have to probably run
Okay,
across
you
quite a
open
bit.
that can of worms. I would like to, in the next meeting, address the card cafe. Just
Oh, that's gonna
I'll
need a
put-
whole meeting on its own for sure.
I know, but I want to just at least get it on record that I'd like to discuss
Absolutely.
options and things next meeting.
Absolutely.
Mhm.
Add it to meeting topics. Go for it. Stick that in there.
Well, personally, I feel like we should hit the current proposals.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Let's tackle proposals before we start tackling issues.
I'm with you 100%.
Yep.
We can just table it each meeting,
Table.
but just have that way it's there for whenever we need it.
Yeah.
Sounds good to me.
'Cause I agree with you. There shouldn't be a business that can just print money for the sake of printing money.
Nope. Nope. Yeah,
I
and
don't-
I've also got evidence of her calling it buybacks when it's not
yeah.
her buying
It's
it.
not her
It's a
money.
third party
She's-
buying it and paying out, and she's keeping
It's a
a
very
bit of
wealthy
money.
collector.
I'm gonna go on the
Hmm.
record as saying I don't think that businesses should have de facto economies.
We'll
You know,
talk about it when we get there.
I do agree to that because
Yep.
you know
We'll
it's the
agree
same
that
in
it's
my
going to
price-
take a long time.
Yeah, because I mean it's like same problem I was running into with pricing whenever Clara was asking. It's not a set thing just because it's it's different case by case.
Yeah.
That's my lawyer.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
All right, so I
And
think
then,
we've got
like a law firm's gonna be different from like the card cafe.
Yep.
So,
Well, the thing is, I have to actually work for it.
More
yeah,
than 30
and I mean
minutes
she is
every
putting
week.
in work for it, but it's not. Yeah, it's different. There's different issues. So, anything? So do we all feel okay about where we think we are and where we're standing? Like
I
we
do
feel
so.
like we've got a direction.
I think we got a great team
Yeah.
here, and I think we're going in a good place.
Okay. So we have a foundation. Sweet. Meeting adjourned. We go get burgers.
Let's go.
Meeting adjourned, we're gonna
Yep.
get burgers.
Fuck yeah.
Barry says that he bought food for us all.
Actually,
Fuck
gotta
yeah.
do
There's
that.
the catering.
Woo.
Are we-
Um,
Hold
we're
on, I
locked
got it.
in.
I got it.
Oh,
Yeah,
definitely.
Melvin's got it.
Okay.